Hello, world. Those that have ears, let them hear. Family, this post is about human beings being on autopilot. Family, what most people don't realize is because they're out of touch with self, they're out of touch with God, they're out of touch just with, a deeper level, going deeper, as we say. They're living through programming. They're living in an autopilot fashion. What do I mean by that? All human beings learn vicariously. We learn through observation of most times of what we see from others. This is why people are lazy. This is why people are, racist. This is why people have hatred in their heart. This is why, there's evil exists. But likewise, this is why people can do things that are of a giving nature. They see other people do for others. But at the end of the day, the main thing is that we're not doing it because it's coming out of self. We're doing it because of what we saw or heard, right? We were told to do this and do that. Do this, do that. You were taught to do a thing, or you observe someone do a thing, whether it be good, positive, or negative, right? And so what that does is it keeps us out of relationship with self. It keeps us out of relationship with self. And so everybody is a slave to some level of programming, right? Life experiences, all these things program you, right? At some point, family, you have to get into a position to where you get in touch with self and ask self, like, who am I? And the thing that came to mind was, family, was this, a small example, right? Starting to rain. So when someone says, or when you say, I love you to a family, a friend, a spouse, whomever, right? Are you thinking inwardly or outwardly? Are you thinking about what you do for them, or are you thinking about what they do for you, right? What is the motive behind when a person says, I love you? Think about it when you're in a relationship, right? Usually the reciprocation that comes out when a person decides to say, I love you, they're thinking about the way that other person treats them, right? But think about the love of Christ. The love of Christ was an unconditional thing while we were yet still sinners, right? The message of salvation is already done. In other words, it's complete, right? When Christ died on the cross and said it is finished, that means it is finished. So that's an unconditional love. It wasn't anything that you had to do to earn that love. It was a gift from God, as the word tells us. Christ is a gift, right? The message of salvation is a gift. And so you got to think about that thing. That's true unconditional love. Because it was a love that Christ gave to us, right? Because it was an outwardly love. He's saying, I'm going to give you this message, right? So that you can get in relationship with me by reading this message. And what it's going to do is it's going to transform your evil thinking, your evil thoughts, your evil ways into goodness and righteousness, right? No matter what you've gone through up to that point, right? To where you realize the unconditional love when it comes to the message of salvation, right? When you begin to read that thing and dissect it, and it begins to transform your mind, right? It was nothing that you did, right, in order to receive that. But again, in relationships, human to human, the question we all should be asking ourselves, family, due to programming, what does it mean? Don't just haphazardly tell someone you love them. What do you do for that person? Not what that person does for you. See, we've got the thing programmed in our minds backwards. When you say I love you, it's because you have actions, right? You have already proven to yourself through your actions that you will do for this person unconditionally. There's nothing they can do to change that. This is the love of Christ, man. He's always standing at the door and knocking, no matter what position you're in. You could be living in complete sin, and you could be living in complete righteousness, or you could be somewhere in the middle. without a made up mind, as the word says, lukewarm, right? Which is a dangerous place. But nonetheless, Christ is still at the door knocking, waiting for you to get in relationship with him, right? So that the message of salvation can begin to produce in you higher ways and higher thoughts. And with that, family, you begin to put on higher patterns and ways of living and the way that you move and flow in life. It becomes totally different from your old self, right? Behold, all things have become new. But family, really think about that thing, and I'm about to get off here. When you say, I love you, is it because you're thinking about what that person does for you? Or are you thinking about what you do for that person? Family, Hebrews 12:14. Make every effort to live in peace with everyone and to be holy, right? To be holy is to show love and the God that is in you, family. Colossians 3:2. Set your affection on things above, not on the things of this earth. Philippians 2:5. Let this mind be in you that was also in Christ Jesus. Family, stay blessed. I love you.